Hi, I'm Colin Hung with Healthcare IT Today, where we explore the latest technology trends and interesting insights from the world of health IT. Today, I am standing outside the Redrick Technologies facility here in London, Ontario, where they have kindly invited me down here to take a look at their facility and to have the chance to talk to them about their latest products. Now, if you remember, I did a video with Redrick back when I visited with them at RSNA in 2022. And I was instantly fascinated by their desk, or should I say their workstation, which is finely tuned to the needs of radiologists. What they had was just unlimited control. You could raise and lower the desk, you could move the monitors in and out and twist them around, but most impressive was this floating island concept where you could detach one part of the desk and realign yourself to face the monitor that you're looking at. Now, as a mechanical engineer, I am fascinated by anything mechanical, and that's what initially attracted me to the company. But as I learned more about what they do, what became more important, and in fact even more fascinating, is how they incorporate feedback from their end users. In this case, those end users being radiologists. They incorporate their feedback into every aspect of the product. Everything from how the desk moves, the color it is, what features are in or out. And that to me is probably the most important lesson from the story that we're about to tell. And that is, by listening to your customers, you will be on a path to success. So join me as I go inside and talk to some company representatives about what's up with Redrick Technologies and some of the new things that they're working on.
Hey, I'm Steve Reinica, and I'm the Director of Business Development for Redrick Technologies.
Josh Patrick, I'm Director of Sales for Redrick Technologies.
I'm Greg Patrick. It depends on which day, but I am the owner and founder of the company and do a little bit of everything here from sales to production.
So guys, can you tell me a little bit about how Redrick got started?
Well, it started back when we were working as we were a general contractor, design builder, construction management company, and we were working with a local radiology group. And they were having some struggles ergonomically. And this is just as the digital technologies were coming into this space. And we listened to their problems, identified what the issues were along with them, and we sourced out some products and ways to overcome their lack of adjustability and create a better solution that wasn't as sedentary for them, especially as they were moving into the computer age, where they were going to be tethered to the mouse and keyboard and sitting in front of monitors. So that's the company kind of developed around that, and we started to design and develop products based on that need and listening to that client base inform us on what their needs were, and then working with some experts in our past experience of understanding space, and we were developing solutions that was completely informed by that user that we were working for. Oh, well, right out of the gate, the technology that they were hosting, the computer technology was, especially back in those days, was very heavy. It wasn't a typical monitor off the shelf, and this was pre-LED or LCD. And so the desk itself needed to be quite robust in order to host that equipment and provide some adjustability. And as things changed, the number of monitors grew. We thought it was going to go the other way. Everything was going to get smaller, but we've actually seen that the amount of technology has continued to grow, and the desks need to be as robust or more robust. And not only that, it was as their imaging technologies were developing, there was a requirement for more technology to be hosted on these workstations. So not only the strength and the robustness of this desk, but all of a sudden we needed to start considering how much real estate we needed and the size and the shape of that real estate, and how we were managing this heavy technology and providing a full adjustable solution. That took quite a few years to get that right, and it was a bit of a challenge, but we eventually overcame it. But that was the core of it.
And what's so special about the desks that you're building? Like, what were some of these requirements that they were asking you to do?
So as Greg mentioned earlier, we're not so much a catalog company as a custom solution company, and we work closely with our customers to get feedback constantly on the product that's going out the door. So unlike some companies may develop a model that then gets rolled out and has a certain lifespan, our products are always being redeveloped and tweaked and modified based on the last customer's feedback. So that when you order a product and something goes out the door, you're getting the current version that month of the way we design our products and all the components. And that might change in a month or two if we get new feedback that helps us find some new way to make it better than it was a few weeks ago. So yeah, it's always been a very flexible approach. It's a lot of fun for us to work that way.
Yeah, no, and what I was going to say is that I think that customization and some of the work we did with a BC customer that when it came to their space, and it wasn't just, hey, can you provide us some desks? It's, hey, we have a space where these radiologists are going to be sitting, and we need help in the design for the optimum space utilization, as well as these radiologists interacting with each other and their technology. So Greg was instrumental in their design of that reading space and having that space designed and helping them make the right decisions. And I don't know if you want.
Yeah, there's that's an important note. Is just making a great ergonomic furniture solution, as good as it can be, that's answering all their needs, doesn't always equal a complete solution. So putting a good solution into a bad space, that's not a good recipe. So that's been a big part of our offering over the years, and drawing on our prior experience as well, is not only just creating this optimized adjustable workstation, but let's take a look at the space that's going to be residing in, and what are the factors. There's the factors that affect the user, but there's also when you have a combined space that Steve's talking about at the BC Women and Children's Hospital, how do we make best use of that space where there's all this collective of radiologists, and build a space that's conducive to the way they work. And just to add a little bit to that was an interesting opportunity to get with their team, and that's what we were able to bring to the table there. We actually had built a physical model that we had everybody kind of put their hands into, and we played in the sandbox for a day, in other words, and we collectively created this space with our guidance, but with their input and their ability to get their hands on it. And we actually came up with a design that they approved of and were in love with on day one. So that's kind of the way we like to approach everything. And we don't always get the chance to bring the sandbox to the table, but virtually we do that on every proposal.
So guys, tell me a little bit more about the feedback that you receive from your customers after they get a hold of your product. What are they saying about it?
Oh, well, it's always positive, but most of it is the ease of use, the usability, how we've addressed the specific needs that they have in terms of how easy it is to adjust, but also in a teaching environment, and how easy it is to collaborate and to adjust these systems we have, because a big part of their profession is collaborative. And their workflow is teaching, it's talking to their customer, there's more than one person looking at the image. So we've got a fair bit of feedback about not just that it's a nice desk and it works well and it goes up and down. It's, yeah, but man, I can do so much with this, and it just helps how I'm engaging with my colleagues and my customer base.
When you look at that reading room environment too, a lot of times we're dealing with planners who have been given a space and say, okay, there's going to be 10 desks in there. And they plan for 10 desks that have these 4, 6, or 8 monitors on them, and they just move forward. And some of the questions that aren't asked is it neurology? Is it mammography? What is the actual radiologist's work there? Because that environment and the technology that's going to be on the desk is going to change, and that desk has to change with that technology. So, the radiologists, I think when we get involved, they are extremely pleased because they see our expertise around knowing what they are reading and what their needs are versus someone just delivering a desk.
Yeah, I think ease of use is the biggest one, and the feedback we get is always how thrilled they are that we've been able to manage something that gives them an ergonomic solution that isn't over engineered, that isn't something that they have to fuss with. It's very
Yeah.
intuitive and easy to use because what they're doing in the reading space is extremely valuable work to the department. And that needs to be their focus. It's the images on the screen. And we're trying to make them comfortable and healthy in that process in doing that work. And our workstations just need to be the minimum amount of intuitive ease of use that they need to make these ergonomic adjustments, and no more, nothing distracting. And I think we've done a really good job of engineering something that supports them in that way. And the feedback we've been getting on that front has been fantastic.
Given our audience is mostly health IT companies, can you give us a little bit of advice on why it's so important for companies, no matter what they're building for healthcare, why is it so important for them to listen to their customers and incorporate that feedback into their products?
So it's pretty obvious that if you want to build a great product that people are going to love, you have to listen to them and listen to their feedback and design your product for that. I think where some people lose their focus is they don't keep listening. And that's one thing that at Redrick we've done very, very well is we're always asking the questions, and every single workstation that leaves, there's that follow up. And that question is, if you could change this, or what could we do better? And those, as Josh said, previously, this product is always evolving because of technology changes, needs changes, ergonomic challenges, and people realizing, how important the actual ergonomics are. So it's that constant listening and getting the feedback, and not just listening, designing, and then going to market. Keep listening.
Right. It's important to constantly check back in with your customers because the challenges that they had when you developed the current iteration of your product may have changed at some point, and you have to stay in touch with them and make sure that your product is always keeping in step with their needs, which is why, to circle back earlier in the conversation, we're constantly tweaking our product, redeveloping it, because we're always trying to get that feedback from everyone and make sure that it's addressing the current challenges that they're facing.
So what's next for Redrick that you can share with us on camera?
Well, we're opening up into other ologies. Cardiology has kind of always been there alongside of radiology, but we're seeing a little bit more need and more demand on the cardiology side, and some specific workflow issues that they have, and we've done a bit of product development to respond to that. We're also seeing the pathology profession moving into the digital age, and although they've always had ergonomic issues related to their microscope, they're actually not getting rid of any ergonomic issues. They're creating different ones now as they move into the digital space, and it's becoming very similar to radiology. So we're working with them. We're talking to a number of forward-thinking pathologists who are quite concerned about what that environment looks like now that they're disengaged from the microscope a little bit and they're moving into mouse, keyboard, monitor workflows, and what the implications of that could be from an ergonomics perspective. So those are two areas.
We're always looking at technologies where there's multiple monitors or multiple displays and ergonomic concerns. So people have looked at our workstations and like, oh, the gaming industry, or and where they're using multiple monitors, and will it be a vertical we pursue? Who knows? But but with any type of digital, Greg mentioned earlier that we had thought when technology first came out, everyone thought that the number of displays was going to be reduced because of things like VR. And we're seeing the exact opposite. We're seeing more and more displays, and people want more information in front of them. and have, you know, a wraparound type of environment with those displays. And it doesn't have to be in the medical industry. There's a lot of other industries out there that are using that technology and are still dealing with that ergonomic, constraints that a standard desk with monitors sitting on them is actually going to bring.
Yeah, and with regard to other industries that we like to expand into, there are some that even have some established ergonomic principles and products out there. But because our product it evolved from the ground up in a completely different environment, there are some very different approaches that and when put into a different environment, they can actually be quite helpful, quite useful in ways that haven't really been approached or tried in that space. So that's always exciting to look for those opportunities.
When we're talking about this now, listening to you guys, it brings to mind the Glide product that we have, and that's one of our current innovations that we're quite proud of. But Steve, you were talking about it and just starting to touch on it. But what we've discovered and kind of what's next for Redrick is that we've recognized that in these multiple monitor situations, there's a fourth level of ergonomic adjustability that's required. We all need sit stand. We all need our monitors to go up and down and in and out because we all have that adjustability. But that's a very linear application or a linear approach to it. But with the large monitor sets, the fourth ergonomic issue that has raised its ugly head over the last number of years is the head turning back and forth. So that's a development that they've been working on is the answer to that, and the ability to allow a freer movement through that horizontal landscape of large monitors. So that's an exciting innovation that we've been working on and pushing out recently.
In your opinion, as you look across the radiology space right now, what's exciting for you? Is there anything particular that jumps out at you in terms of a technology, a development in radiology that's exciting you right now?
One thing that's really caught my interest in, and it's kind of exciting, is the recognition by more and more radiologists of the importance of that space that they're working in, and just how it can't just be a room. There's so many different things going on there, from teaching, if it's a teaching hospital, to the collaboration, to needing to focus to get the work done. So what we're seeing, although we've always had our finger in that space, over the years of helping people create that space, there's a much more of an awareness and a desire from the radiology profession, possibly because of the increased workload that they're feeling. There's a challenge for recruiting and retention of radiologists, and they're saying now there's a shortage. Well, there's a desire to create an environment now, and they're listening to and interested in what are the elements of that environment, and how does that. It's not just a room with, is there enough square feet there to, Steve, you touched on this earlier, is there enough square feet there to throw 10 desks in? Well, maybe there's different zones. Maybe this person has a type of work to do that somebody over here doesn't. And there's different people coming and going. And how do we deal with that? So that's exciting to me because although we've always been talking about it, we're seeing a reception for it now and a desire for it.
So it's exciting that there are so many other markets where there are some ergonomic solutions in place, but what we've developed in healthcare, because we built it from the ground up in that environment, it's actually quite unique relative to what's available in other spaces. So we're excited to explore bringing our current iterations of the product into other spaces and seeing how they compare to what's currently available. We think we're going to have a lot of success in other areas.
Where can people go to find more information about Redrick?
You can check us out at redricktechnologies.com or redricktech.com.
I want to thank the team at Redrick Technologies for allowing me to come down to their offices today and tour their facility and really get a chance to sit down and understand more of how they build their products, and more importantly, how they engage their customers with their feedback to incorporate into the products and designs that they build. I was just amazed at the level of customization that goes on in terms of their product. I thought it was a catalog, and you clearly heard that it isn't. They really sit down with their customers to understand their needs and then design something specifically based on their technologies to match it. Hey, if you enjoyed this interview as much as I did, please like and subscribe. And also head on over to healthcareittoday.com where you'll find more great content like this. I'm Colin Hung. Thanks for being here, and I'll catch you on the next video.